Good morning, Rebecca here. Welcome to my Monday messages. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Rebecca. I am a QTT personal development coach, mentor, and homeopath. And I use all three methods to help as many of you as possible to be as healthy and as happy as you can be, and to have the ability to stay that way. And my Monday messages are really part of my overall commitment to help as many people as possible to access the tools and the resources that we all actually already have within us and that help us to self-regulate, to negotiate any situation and still feel good about ourselves as much as we can. So I'm just wondering, for those of you who are following me on a regular basis, how did you get on with last week's exercise? And that was to write a kind of love letter to yourself, to actually write a letter telling yourself of all the values and the skills and the attributes that you recognise are really positive within you and that have enabled you to get through situations that you perhaps didn't think that you would get through. Good morning, Breeze, and you're very, very welcome. I've just started, so I was just asking how you got on with last week's exercise, writing a love letter to yourself. So if you can hear me, anybody who's on, do let me know, because that's always a bonus, I think. So give me a thumbs up or something. Just lets me know that you can actually hear me. So today's little tip or focus or thought or just little exercise, and those are what I hope to do each week, is to give you those prompts, really, so that you can start looking at what you already have within you and can actually start using yourselves to help you to manage your lives. So today's theme was kind of given to me by, well, it was two things actually. There were a couple of clients of mine who came to me last week in a state of complete overwhelm. So just totally consumed by a set of problems in one case, one particular problem for somebody else. And they were starting to actually manifest physical symptoms of that feeling of being completely overwhelmed. So it was affecting their sleep. They couldn't concentrate on anything else. All they could think about, all they could focus on was that problem, that set of circumstances that was making them feel so powerless, if you like. So one of the first things that I always do with clients who are feeling that is to actually do an exercise where we literally consciously disconnect them from that sense of overwhelm, that circumstance or that set of circumstances that is feeding into them feeling those feelings. And it is literally like unplugging from it. Because while we're deeply connected, while we're really in that problem, then we can't really see any kind of way out of it or think of possible solutions or other people that can help us. So it's not a useful situation to be in. And what happens is we just end up going around and around and around in circles because we can only see a very small area. So our only option really for our brains is to just keep circling round and round and seeing, have I missed anything? Is there something within that problem, within that set of circumstances that I've missed? That, is there some kind of obvious solution to how I'm feeling, and how do I do that? I just keep going round and round and round. But actually, you're never going to find the solution to your problem or to your sense of overwhelm by doing that, because the chances are you haven't missed anything, and actually the solution is going to be somewhere outside of the problem. So what I'm going to ask you to do today is to practice, or not just today, but for the week and for going forward, to practice just, first of all, becoming aware of that. If you start to sense that you're heading into a situation where you are really obsessing about something, that you cannot get it out of your head, and that you're constantly looking at it to try and find some kind of way through, then that's the time, as soon as you can, is to actually consciously uncouple yourself from it before you get really, really deeply connected. But even if you are in a state of total overwhelm, you can still use this exercise to get clarity. So if it's helpful, I think of it as, and actually it's happened to me before, when you're reading a book and you have it right up close to your face like that, you can't see it, you can't distinguish words, you can't read it. It's just really in your face, and all you can see is the words, or perhaps not even that. So most people automatically will be pulling that book further away from their vision in order to get clarity, in order to see, oh yes, actually now I can read the words, now I can see that the words are on a page, now I can see that the page is part of a book, and so on. So what I want you to do is to practice that, or some other kind of visualization where you're literally pulling that problem out of your head. Because that sense of overwhelm is because it's stuck in your head, or your head is stuck in it, I should say. And what we need to do is actually separate you from that feeling and that problem, because it's not you, it's not part of you. You're just trying to find the best way for you to negotiate whatever is going on externally. So in order to do that, just go inside yourself, perhaps visualize all the elements, all the problems, whatever it is that's making you feel overwhelmed. I find it helpful to bundle it up into something. So it could be that you choose a colour and you choose a sack, and you just put everything into the sack, tie up the string, and that you are physically, visualising yourself taking that sack out of your head and just putting it on the table in front of you. And immediately you'll see that, it is a sack and it's in front of you. And you will see that there are actually lots more things around the sack than there are in the sack. So that actually helps your subconscious mind to actually just register that, in fact, the problem isn't as big as it has been appearing. It also allows both your subconscious and your conscious mind to start noticing that there are actually other things around the problem. And that it's much more likely that you'll find the solution to the problem and the solution to your feelings of overwhelm by looking outside of that sack. And it just gives you, because you have that distance, it gives you a clarity. It gives you the ability to be able to think much more constructively and much more productively. And that's when you will start to remember possible resources that you hadn't thought of. Perhaps there's somebody who's been through what you're going through now that you could talk to. Perhaps there's organisations, that you'd forgotten about that you can access. Perhaps it's about information gathering and you've actually suddenly realised, what I need to do is I need to find out some more information from another source. Or even if it's just actually I just need to talk to somebody. Talk to a friend, or a partner or whatever, just to help me to get clarity. It's what it's doing when you're taking it out of your body is that it then enables your body to start actually relaxing and start working in a much more enabling way. So that's what I wanted you to do this week. So conscious uncoupling from problems, from situations, from circumstances. Now, the 2 clients that I had this week were triggered by going back to work, and I suspect that this is going to be a trigger for lots of you, because for many people, they're going to have to work with a whole set of new parameters. Social distancing being one of them. There'll be probably lots of other new ways of working that you're going to have to incorporate, and that can be overwhelming. It can put you into a state of overwhelm quite easily. So that ability to be able to stop yourself, just make sure that you're actually not keeping it all in your head, that you're actually taking it out of your head and putting it somewhere where you can see that there are actually always ways of harnessing help, support, guidance, more information, whatever it is that you need to stop feeling overwhelmed. Another way of thinking about it is, let's think of a good example. Dear old Gwyneth Paltrow, who kind of first landed the phrase on us, conscious uncoupling. I wasn't going to talk about Gwyneth Paltrow today, but actually it's quite a good example, because she spoke about conscious uncoupling in terms of her separation from her husband, Chris Martin of Coldplay. And what she was talking about was, rather than doing a kind of knee-jerk reaction and everybody hating each other and them going around in circles and pulling their children into it and, not salvaging any good, anything positive from the relationship that had brought them two beautiful children, that they were going to actually separate in a very conscious way that would enable them to salvage a loving relationship as their children's parents, and that would allow them also to ask for help and support in doing that. And that's really the same thing. We do actually have that ability to separate ourselves from things, from circumstances, in our DNA, if you like, at a cellular level. It's a very, very strong protective mechanism. It's often used in extreme trauma. We find that a lot of people, particularly children, but adults as well, who are in very, very stressful, very traumatic situations, that they will literally separate from their bodies. They will sometimes come out of their bodies and be watching themselves going through whatever they're going through. This is a protective device because it's often too painful, too frightening, too whatever, to be experiencing those things firsthand. So the subconscious goes into ultra protective mode, and it allows us to separate from our bodies, to actually remove ourselves from the pain and from the feelings that we're feeling because they're too overwhelming and too painful. So that's something that happens unconsciously if we're triggered in an extreme way. So what I'm asking you to do is actually harness that power, because we all have it, and actually use it in a much more conscious way for things, not extreme trauma, obviously, but for day-to-day things like feeling overwhelmed or not being able to solve a problem, because our tendency is that we want to connect more with something, and we think that by connecting more with it, that we will somehow find a solution. And in fact, that really isn't the case most of the time. So if we disconnect, then we're much more likely to be able to see that there are actually lots of solutions outside of the problem. And the reason it works is because we've disconnected with the feeling of overwhelm. Because once we get into that panicky, oh my God, I'm trapped, there's no way out, I have no solution, there is nothing I can do about this, then we stop thinking clearly. We stop recognising that there are actually lots of avenues that we could go down to actually find our way through this situation. So, conscious uncoupling. That's what I will leave you with for this week. Do let me know how you get on. Just bringing the skills that we have in our subconscious, bringing them more to our conscious mind, and being able to harness the power that they have to help us lead our lives in the most positive way that we can, and be able to self-regulate is what this work is all about, really. And it can really change how you manage things, particularly when you're wearing several hats. As a working mom, I know that you're always wearing several different hats, and that can get very overwhelming at times. So this is a really useful technique to do. It's something that I use quite a lot in my QTT work, but also in my homeopathy work, actually, I find, because it's such a common theme. So if you're interested in working with me further, if you think there's quite a strong pattern of overwhelm going on, then you might want to do some one-to-one work with me. If you are interested, do pop onto my website, www.rebeccaatkinson.com, and there's a link to that site in the post with this video. You can just have a look round, gather the information, watch the videos, or if you join my email list, you can register for a free Q&A call with me, and you can just find out exactly how I could help you. Or you can just sign up for the newsletter, and there's various free video series there. So have a good look around. I really hope that this conscious uncoupling starts to help you this week. You might want to share it with someone else if that's not something that you suffer from. And if you enjoy these videos, then do join me every Monday at 10 o'clock, or just leave your comments in the comment boxes below and watch the replay. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Bye.